What's going on, guys? It is your boy Junior from P&P Customs coming back at you with another video. Due to popular demand, we will be showcasing how to install the new 14.5-inch Tesla style radio that's available for the Jeep Grand Cherokee from 2014 to 2021. We have showcased the 13.6 Tesla style radio many times, but people always ask me to film something for the 14.5. Not only are we going to be showcasing how to install it, we're also going to show you guys what it offers, what it looks like when it turns on, what you can do with it, and more. Now, the main difference between the 13.6 and the 14.5 is not only just the design that they come with. So the 14.5 is more prominent style since it has like a little overhead that comes over the top, and then the 13.6 is more of a flush style. They also have different gigs and RAM, so that's also something you have to take into account. So after you put those two differences aside, they pretty much do the same thing. They both come with wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. They both have the ability to navigate the internet. And of course, they both lose no functions of your vehicle. So you have a backup camera to recuperate. You guys saw that. This vehicle also has steering wheel controls. I think they all come with that. Some vehicles come with heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. If you have that, you will not lose that. And also a fun fact to throw in there is that the main thing that really sells this 14.5-inch prominent style Tesla style radio is that you do not lose the little pocket down here. As soon as you tell clients that usually is what sells it for them. They don't really care too much about the gigs, the RAM, or what it looks like. They sometimes just really care about that pocket and see it as a benefit to keep that there. And on top of that, the 14.5-inch Tesla style radio is easier to install because you don't have to remove the pocket, of course, and also you don't have to remove the center console. So you just have to remove the radio's kit and the climate control, and then everything else is just straightforward. That is enough yapping. Let's go ahead and get started on this 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let's get to installing this new Tesla style radio. Alright, so a quick demonstration on how to remove the factory radio before we install our Tesla style radio. What you have to do is you first have to remove this kit that surrounds the radio. Bear with me as I'm going to be doing this with one hand. But you have to get a plastic proper prior tool, that way you don't damage the leather or any plastic pieces. It sounds like you're breaking it, but that's actually a good sound. That means that the clips are coming loose. We loosened that side, so let's go ahead and loosen this side up as well. Make your way up slowly. There you go. Then slowly working our way up. There you go. That's good. Keep prying outwards. Slowly work your way around. There you go. And you're all set. It comes loose. You kind of have to wiggle it because of the air vents. There you go. And they're going to have one plug right here. It has a latch at the side. See it? Where I'm pushing my middle finger. You push it downwards and then you're able to pull it outwards. And that's it. Now for the factory radio, it's held in with 4 7mm. Well, it seems that this radio was removed before, so it's only held in with 2, but you're supposed to have 4. Go ahead and remove those. Alright, so to remove the radio, you're gonna have these plugs back here. They all have the same idea, where they have like a latch at the top. You push that latch down, and when you push that latch down, it kind of loosens them up, and then you're able to pull them out. Like I said, it'd be easier if I had 2 hands, but if I can do it with one, you guys would have an easier time than me. There you go. Same thing with this USB connector. You're gonna push the latch down and pull outwards, and then this one right here, you're gonna push the latch towards the right like that, and then you pull upwards and it will come out. It's that easy. Why pay someone to do it when you can do it yourself? You just need the tools and the patience. All right, so we have the radio here and the kit, so let's go ahead and bring it to the table. All right, so first step is to change the clips over from the original kit to the new kit. So it's as simple as lifting up one of the legs, and then the other one kind of just loosened up. Let me go ahead and give you guys a close-up. So this is the male clip. You lift up one of the legs, kind of like spreading them apart like that, and they kind of come loose. And then after you remove them, go ahead and insert them into the new males. So go ahead and get all of those transferred. And there you go. That is what it should look like when all the clips are transferred over. Now, one final thing that we do have to transfer over is the air vents. So these are pretty simple. They're not held in with any screws. They're just held in with clips, kind of like latches. So what you do is you just pull them apart from the air vent, and then they just kind of come loose. The front part as well has a latch. Kind of stick your fingers in between those clips right there, pull them apart, and it comes loose. All right, and then it's just as simple as kind of, oh, wrong side, just line it up. Let me go ahead and show you guys. You line it up, you push it in, and then you should hear it click. You gotta make sure that everything is going in good before you actually push it in with force. I think it's in. There you go. All right, so you should hear like a click, and then boom, look at that. OEM fitment. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. And then once you transfer over the air vents and the clips, you're all done with this. We can move on to the harnesses, but check that out. That already looks so good. Let's go ahead and head into the car and start plugging up our harness. All right, so in the box, you'll get this main harness. All right, this is very straightforward. This plugs into the main harness of the car here. So go ahead and plug that in. Should look exactly like this. All right, that is the main harness out of the way. Up next is your USB adapter. This is going to recuperate the original USB that is down here. There is a USB connector down there right in the corner. That is actually this right here. So when you plug this in and then you plug the other end to the radio, recuperates the signal so that when you connect your phone to here, it also connects to the radio. And that should look like this. And in the package, you'll have a regular antenna adapter, and then you'll also have an amplified antenna adapter. This is the one that the Chinese warehouse provides for you. This is the one I provide and throw in the box for you. This one isn't so good, so I throw in a better one, because out of, like, let's say the original radio used to retain 50 channels for the FM signal. This one will only recuperate like 7 of them, which is not good, right? For you guys who, for you guys who like to listen to your radio stations in the morning, don't use that one. You would want to use this one. All right, so this plugs into the harness of the car, which is going to be this one, and then this plugs into the back of the radio. This blue wire, don't worry too much about it. I do have some clients that are out, like, they're in the middle of nowhere in the woods and all that. So if you don't really have that good retention, then you can connect this blue wire to the blue wire here that says antenna. See that? And that would greatly increase its signal. If you're in the city and you have good signal, then don't do anything with this wire. You don't need it. Whether you connect it or not doesn't really make a difference. So like I said, this connects to the white plug right here. It's like a little bit beige because the color's fading, but it's supposed to be white. So we plug that there, and then this end plugs into the back of the radio. Should look something like this. All right. Up next, we have the 3 antennas. You have 2 4G antennas, and then you have 1 GPS antenna. So what I like to do is right above the air vents right here, where I'm kind of rubbing my arm, there is a flat surface all behind the radio right here. So you have a flat surface on the top right of the air vent, and then top left, and also in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the protective lining that's covering the 3M tape and stick those on there, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so up next we have the SIM card connector, and then we have the 2 USB slots. Okay, so what I like to do, the cleanest way I do it, and you guys see it in all my videos, whether I'm doing an Android video or a Tesla style, is I always like to run into the glove compartment, because it's out of sight and out of mind, but it's still very accessible. If for some reason the client needs an extra USB slot, or he wants to put in a SIM card, all he has to do is just open his glove compartment and it's all there. He closes it and it's not out of his face, you know. I do have some clients that say that it's a little hard to do it there, so I just kind of tell them run into the passenger footwell or the driver footwell. If it's too difficult, I like to do it this way just because it's cleanest this way, so I'm gonna get it done. Just one thing to mention is you have 2 USB slots right here. You don't run both of them there. One of them stays behind the radio and plugs into the factory USB slot right here. I'll show you guys what that looks like. That way you guys can copy me. So there you go. Once you loosen up the glove compartment, you're able to run the wiring just because there's a hole here that leads to the back of the radio. So SIM card connector and also the extra USB slot. And then the other one, remember it was a double. I connected it to the original connector for the USB adapter. All right. So of course we're gonna make this a little more organized. I kind of just have everything loose just to show you guys clearly, and then in the end I'll zip tie everything together just so it looks clean. But other than that, that's pretty much how you do that. You kind of just push this back into place, closes. Like I said, it's out of sight, out of mind, but they're there if he needs them. And then the final thing that will be left behind is the external microphone. This you can install if you want to, but you do not have to, just because this video comes in with a built-in mic. So this sounds perfectly fine. I haven't had any complaints yet with any clients telling me that it sounds horrible. But if you do really want it to sound like perfect, clear, like 4K audio, you know what I'm saying? Like as if it was in a movie, then you would need the external microphone because you would run this kind of where you're at, specifically on the top of the A pillar. But this works perfectly fine. Like I said, I've had no complaints yet about this. So save yourself the work. And if for some reason you feel like you want it to sound more clear, then the external microphone is something you would have to run. But like I said, it works good on its own. All right, so we brought the unit over to the car. That way we can start plugging in our harnesses. Before I actually start plugging stuff in, I can tell you exactly where things go. So first off, you have this CAN bus connector. That is obviously going to connect to here in the middle. Your original AC plug, that's going to plug into here. You'll have a brown RCA here that says CCDV. That is going to be your factory backup camera. This is going to be the female. The male, you just have to find it here in the main harness. See how it says CCDV, the same thing that the brown one says. You plug those two in and your backup camera will be recuperated. And then you have the GPS and the two 4Gs. Here is the GPS that those are the ones that we stuck on top of the, under the dash. So you have the GPS, one 4G and two 4Gs. And then for the connectors, remember I said everything is uniquely shaped. So you can't plug in something where it doesn't belong. If it's not going in, it's because it doesn't belong there. So this, you just have to match it here. And then you have the main power, of course. This is the main power. That one plugs into here. All right. And then the antenna FM, the transmitter, that's going to be this one. That plugs into there. And then we're missing one more, which is going to be the USBs. Where's that one? I think that was a brown wire. I want to show you guys before I actually start plugging stuff in. There it is right here. Sorry. This one right here is going to plug into there as well. So you just kind of have to just line everything up. If it goes in smoothly, it's meant to be there. If it's not going in, it's not meant to be there. Let's go ahead and plug everything in and I'll come back to you guys. Do not confuse yourself with the extra harnesses. So for example, this is extra. These you don't have to worry too much about. If you want to add a music system to the radio, then you would plug it into these. These are your rears, your fronts, and your subwoofers. Yes, you can add a amp and power up your music system with this radio because it has the outputs, and then you would be able to control your music and your subwoofer through here. If you don't have an aftermarket radio and you try to add a music system to your car, you'd have to go through the process of adding a audio processor or an equalizer, but because you get this radio, you kind of skip that step. So that's pretty cool. If you were to add the external microphone, then you would plug that into here. But other than that, we're pretty much done. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of feed the wiring through here. You have a whole bunch of space. Look at all this space that you have to play with. Push all that wiring through here, line it up, push the radio into place, and it should click right in. The 7mm that you use to remove the radio, you can throw those aside into the box just because this radio isn't held in with any screws. Pure clips. Let's go ahead and line it up and click it in. And voila, gentlemen, that is exactly how it's going to turn out once you're done. Beautiful, gorgeous display. Every inch of that screen is being used, no borders. And then, like I said, you recuperate everything so the backup camera stays recuperated. See that? There is your backup camera. Yes, the lines do still move. Check that out. The steering wheel controls, if we go into the radio, we can also show those as well. So here it is. See how the volume is going up and down? We can also find the station. I can't listen to music for too long because the video will get copy striked. Let's see, is that one? No.
Out against the Trump administration, you remember Smith brought some criminal cases against Trump.
And then you can go ahead and put it down. The button in the middle is also mode, so I can switch between the modes. That's video, that is music, like if you had like a file, Bluetooth, and I think it goes back to the radio. Oh, that's aux there, and then back to the radio. There you go. So all that stuff works. And also, if the screen is too bright for you, you can also put it in dark mode, keep it there permanently as well. You can lower the brightness, and if I turn on the headlights, it also has an automatic nighttime mode. So if I turn on the headlights, it automatically dims and gets darker. Check that out. And then once you swipe upwards, it shows you all of the pre-downloaded apps. Of course, you can download a lot more than this. You have CarPlay, you have Android Auto, both are wireless, by the way. You can still use your phone connection through USB if you want to, but you do not have to. But yeah, you have all of this stuff here, your car settings. So the original car settings that were in the original video, you do not lose those. Spotify already comes pre-downloaded, and of course it comes with a Play Store down here where you can download more apps like YouTube, Netflix. It already comes with Disney Plus, Hulu. I've seen people download TikTok and, you know, scroll down. So everything remains working as it should. Whatever you can do on your phone, you can do on this radio. Let me lower the volume. So I have an Android, I have the Samsung S25 Ultra, so we're not going to use CarPlay. That is if you had an iOS iPhone. So we're going to go ahead and click Android Auto. It's already connected, and check that out. Look at that more modernized display compared to the old one, 8.4 inch with old technology. This is a bigger screen with newer technology, so we can kind of go in full screen. And then we can play our music as well. Go next. There you go. And then I can also control the music on my phone, and then you can also check your apps as you guys saw in the beginning. Any kind of app that is kind of compatible with CarPlay and Android Auto will be displayed there. Not all of your apps will be displayed here, only the ones compatible with that. And then you have your hazard buttons right here. And then also, before I forget, your park sense button is right here on the side. So if I click that, you will see that it will speak with the vehicle. So that button is not for looks, it actually does something. And then we can exit, and I can also give this radio some Wi-Fi. That way we can go ahead and access the internet. And there you go, we gave it some Wi-Fi, we're all set there. We gave it the business's Wi-Fi for now. Swipe up, go to YouTube just to display the speed of the internet. Go ahead and press play, and it automatically loads. We're playing a music video. I can't play the audio because the video will get copy strike, but I can play like a little bit of a quick second of it. Let's give it a... And then we go back down. We can't keep it for too long, like I said, because then we'll get in trouble with YouTube. Silly me, I almost forgot to show you guys the new digital climate control. So if we tap on here, it shows you your vent speed. You can hear it kick up. You can lower it. You have your heated seats, ventilated seats. You have your temperature here. You can up the temperature, you can lower the temperature, and then you have your modes up there. If you don't touch it for long enough, then it kind of goes away because it assumes that you're done. Give it a second, but that's your digital climate control. That's pretty much how it works. So it works as the original one did. It's just, imagine instead of knobs, you have like buttons to touch on the digital screen. But yeah, as you can see, it is a very good looking radio. It looks very nice in this interior. The overhead here, the overlap, is not so crazy to the point where you can't see over the dash. It really does not bother at all. Easier to install than the 13.6. Fun fact, I think the only reason people love this radio, I could be wrong, is because they get to keep this pocket here. I won't lie. Every single time someone calls me and tells me, Junior, what's the difference between the 13.6 Tesla style radio and the prominent this one, the 14.5 Tesla style radio for the Jeep Grand Cherokee? As soon as they tell them, well, the perk here is that you don't lose the pocket down here, they say deal. Like they like that idea. And like I said, you can keep this pocket and also the USB in there. You can still use that. It's still functional, and you have the extra USB and the SIM card connector there. But other than that, yes, it is a bigger display. In terms of the gig speed and the storage, this one has less than the 13.6. The 13.6 is a little more faster, but nothing crazy. If I were to put them side by side and play the video, you wouldn't even notice the difference. They're both incredibly fast. It's just one is more updated, that's it. But other than that, they're both really good. To each their own. Everybody has their own style. Some people might like this radio, or some people may prefer the other one. The other one kind of stays in the dash flush. This one kind of comes out a little. That's just because the screen is a lot bigger than the other one. You're going from 14.5 to 13.6. That's the difference between the two. But yeah, it looks very good nonetheless. No functions lost. Steering wheel controls, all that stuff is retained. Backup camera, you guys saw that. That is a little quick showcase of this radio. You can cop this radio. The link will be in the description. If you have any questions about this radio or any other radio that we offer here at the website, then you can go ahead and ask for Junior when you call the business number, and I'll take care of any questions that you have. But that is a quick showcase of what this radio can do. Of course, it can do so much more. You can download crazy apps on here. You can program it to do its own thing. You can add a music system, and like I said, so much more. Anything that your phone can do, this radio can do. It does everything in that scenario, and on top of that, it makes sure that you do not lose anything in terms of your factory car features. Before we go, I can also show you guys that. Let's go to car settings. So these are stuff that you do not lose. Let's go to car settings here. So headlight display, headlight illumination, concerning power lift gate alert. So these are like all CAN bus settings that you do not lose. So if these are very important to you, do not worry, do not lose that stuff. So distance unit, temperature unit. Oh yeah, sometimes it may come in Celsius or kilometers. You can switch that here in settings. But yeah, a very simple radio. It just takes time to get used to. Other than that, very good unit for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is available for the 2014 to 2021 units. If you guys have any questions or want to cop it, everything is down and below in the description.